Right? I know the millet is used to husk the coconut, but what's another use of the millet? It's a weapon, right? Oh, okay. All right.
You know when they use to husk the
So
coconut.
pipitting now, right? For demonstration purpose, everybody see here? So we got a pipitting.
There's only one coconut.
Yeah, because this is only one. But again, he's got muscle, so he was able to squeeze out that much. So with this pipit, we may have probably enough for one cup zombie, but that's okay.
Okay.
All right, so as what Batanda mentioned now, so this again, it's not as simple as just go into manga and pull a taro out and a taro leaf and then go to work. This again, this preparation. And you know, in Samoa, I don't know, how many of you guys been in Samoa lately? Okay, so sometimes in Samoa there's a lot of bugs and stuff like that that crawls under these things. So you gotta. That's why it's important. It's a process. Not what he just went through. We also gotta make sure that snails and things like that. On your the leaves here. So what happened now? What he's doing here. So he's got what's called so you kind of cup your hand, and when you do it like he did right there, and he just kind of start just putting one leaf on top of the other. So what you're doing here now, you're creating this little pile of leaves. So when the intent is, when you pour the coconut milk in, it will not sip out, right? You want to be able to contain the coconut, the milk, once you put it in there. So while he's doing that,
So the purpose is, so people say how many leaves in one side. It's up to you. If you want it to be very leafy and very nice, so it's up to you. Sometimes people do 5 or 7. Sometimes people do 4. So it's not a count. It's up to you. It depends on how many people you look at and how many people you don't like.
But the main thing is, like I said, is when you pour the milk in there, it will contain the milk. That's why you put these leaves around. So when you pour the milk, it will actually keep the milk in there. So while he's doing that, now he's got the milk over there. So I mentioned earlier we didn't have foil in Samoa, so we use what do you call we use banana leaves, breadfruit leaves, and so on to actually hold this thing. Because once you put the thing in there, you got to be able to hold it together. You need something to hold it together. And really, the foil paper is just the best thing to use. But in those days in Samoa, we didn't have foil, so we improvised with laufa'i. And sometimes with ulu or a breadfruit tree, leaf of breadfruit tree. All right, here you go. So what we're gonna do now, offal. All right, you see, just improvise. There you go. There you go. There you go. So you see now how, that's why he mentioned about how many leaves you put in. It doesn't matter how many leaves. It's just the main thing is when you put the milk in there, it does not sip out. It does not leak.
No leak.
And like what you were starting to say here, so normally we use laufa'i, banana leaves, or breadfruit leaf, but we don't have those here, so we improvise. We use foil, and it's just as good. Yep. So there you go. So that's the finishing product, and then we wait for the umu, and then hopefully at the end you'll be here to eat some of this stuff. All right. How about a round of applause for our team here? Okay. All right, so go back to. So the first thing, of course, you get a calo. So what you want to do, you want to remove that part right there because you don't want to. So you cut that off first, right? Just like what you got here. So there you go. So now to scrape or to balu the calo, we use a couple methods. In Samoa, of course, let me see here. Remember when I told you about the asi, the coconut shell? It is bite. If you So what happens is, so what we do, we sharpen these things, and that's what we use to balu the calo. But in America, you kind of lack resource, so we use a can.
Improvise.
Right? We improvise, get the bottom of one of those apple pisupo, or something that's hard. And what you do, you cut it, and that's what you do. So you balu the calo, right? I mean, it's an art, because you don't have to use all the muscle, because otherwise you're gonna take all the meat off the taro. You just want to ease enough where you just scraping the outside, the outer skin.
You can use the potato peeler too.
There you go. Just as effective. or you use a knife. If you don't have asi, if you don't feel like going through all that, you can use a knife to peel it. But the problem is, you're gonna take a lot of meat off the, the color, and you're gonna waste the color. But this is the most effective way that you have your taro, and then you kind of. How many of you guys done this before again? I think it's you, right? Okay. Okay. But again, he's as good at peeling banana. The result might be in. There you go. Look. So I guess when you're good at peeling banana, it doesn't matter whether it's warm. You put warm water. You just gotta know what you're doing. But the warm water really makes it easy for you or you, because you have not mastered the art yet. It makes it easier for you to peel.
Okay, you good? You come over here and let me after that one leave this open for us.
I try to get this skin. Okay. The line that goes up and try to get half the taro protection. No, it's complete performance.
Just rotate it as you scrape it over here. Make sure your fingers are kind of clear from the edges so you don't scrape your fingers. One hand, how about that? Scrape it all around. So this is what it looks like, and you just scrape it off. You want to try? Just kind of hold it like this. Just kind of rotation forward. So you're not just so like this, and then just just slow motion forward, and then try to rotate the coconut in your hand. There you go. There you go. But try not to like you're stabbing, but just like and then ankle not like this. This is just gonna scrape, rotate, scrape. Slightly little. Okay. This small, and rotate. There you go. Just let it go to the edge. Keep rotating, it'll even out. There you go, it's going, yeah. Just so at the edge, just turn it like this way, and then just keep going. Rotate it. Wow, tough coconut. Finally. Yeah, after Tomato, then somebody else can jump in. Okay. That's what it looks like after. Yep. See up here. So look that way. So from the side. Just downward motion and forward and downward. So the right hand is kind of like rotate, the one that kind of keep it sturdy. Got it?
No, I didn't see it side. Oh, but sure.
Some of you need to get closer to this heat. So you know. Not easy.
So you see the smoke already, right? Now we're going to smother it. So the purpose, like I mentioned, the objective is to smother the heat, because that's what cooks our food.
Blow the steam in.
You gotta get outside first.
So the question you probably ask is, how long before we get the food out? Well, it all depends on how hot the rocks are. So in this case, I think maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And also we only have caldo and chicken for some, so those are light stuff. So in an hour and a half, 2 hours, we should be good to go. So hope to see you back here in 2 hours, maybe less. Or if you come here and there's no maumu, that means, hey, we're gone. We also use, one of the use of the coconut shell, we sometimes use the, or something in it, luau. We put the leaves, coconut milk, and then mackerel we put in there, or sometimes some kind of meat we put in here.
So you use it as a dish?
It's a dish.
Okay.
So the beauty of this here, once it's just like the parsami is in the foil. Well, this thing here is already, so when you get it, that's how it's passed out to people. So really, you got your coke, you got your bowl, and you got your parsami in there, or whatever meat, beef, which is turkey tail, or any kind of meat, lamb. A lot of people put bukake and bisupu in there. But that's another use of the coconut shell.
And how long does the shell last? They last a long
Oh, they
time.
last
don't
for
they?
a long time, yeah. Until you break it, or we use it to start fire for the next umu. Yeah, but it can last quite a while.
It all depends on where you keep them. Because if you just like leave them out here, it probably won't last as long. If you were to take it inside, keep it, clean it up and save it, it lasts longer. Like, the way Moore say, it lasts as long as you don't break it, whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's just thrown outside, because of the element, rain, it won't last as long.
And you measure it, see how big the basket? Okay. Or maybe a couple more, just a couple more. And use the basket to put all the food that they're cooking in the oven right now, okay? After. So that's what you use the basket for. Go it back and just keep weaving. It's a pattern. Once you get the pattern down, it's pretty simple. But today you're not gonna be expert doing that, but just demonstrating to you what it's gonna look like after we weave this basket here. Okay, let's connect the two sides. So after you do that, you peel off the one extra one. And that's the one you put between here and bring it through. And you just keep weaving like the beginning. Peel it through, bring it around, lay it there, and just keep weaving until you ran out of the unweaved strand. Every other one, 1, 2, 3. Yep. And you bring this one over here. Lay it down. You see it? It's coming together. See it? And the next one here. Pull it back. Over. This one here. Okay. The reason why you peel this back and hold them in this way, because when you braid them, you braid this one first, and then you turn around and come back and you pull this out and you braid them second time around. Okay, there we go. That's our basket. That's how big it is. That's how deep it is. Cool. This is how you connect them to one of the extra strand that we did. Okay. Now we're gonna braid the bottom. So when you connect them, you put them on top, and you just, if you know how to braid, it's pretty simple. Take 3 of them. Just bring this over and then braid the one that are sticking out first. And then the second time around, we pull out the other one. And so this might not be a pretty basket at the end, but you just weave all the way to the end. And at the end, you just tie this together.
You girls know how to braid, right? That's all it is, right? Braiding here, right? There you go.
And then it got a tail. You just tuck it in, tuck it back inside the basket. Okay, what do I look like? Yay! All right. Woo! So that's the size. It depends how big you want it. You can make them bigger or smaller or wider, you know. So, but this is the size that I think is good enough. We're gonna put our taro bananas that are cooking from Sami in it. Then you put banana leaves to cover up the bottom. And then you put your food in from the ubu after it's cooked. Cool? When you carry it, you used to make a handle over here. You can just kind of grab it and carry it like that. Yeah, you can pass it around and look at it. And then,
You want them to try?
yeah.
Sungon fe ngai na fa kai amore asuni. Ma kai mo fa na ai au wale ai ngale. Ai le se ka mo fa ya kule. Ngai ai ma. Au wa se fa lo lo mai. Ya ola u. Lo fa lo la. Ya la so kau kira la fofo wa. Wai mala so kar suar pus pisupo. Ya malong of kai le il maro. Ya usai di far ni ai awasi kofa. Wa foi lo wo mai. Or kofa le lo. Suma de te ngai la. Sao.
Chào, lại một cái.
Mà nó treo, cái pha nó, mà nó kẹo nó phát chú này. Sao, pha ra đây. Là phụ lên à.
Ya maka opora foi.
Well, you're wearing it over there.
Ia mahuia lau suon pe ngai. Mahuia hori nei ai no fakai. For lora ia marsuan ka mo.
Ja, kapa pe ia pa ia whakawhalo. Ia whakawhalo. Ia ka miki. Malo.
Really good job.
Good job.
Hey, sit down. So are you guys okay now? Now you know how to do it, right? Yeah.
Can somebody please this away? Guy level so
Are you active in sport? It's great. My name is Fiso. Your name? Fiso. Fiso. Have you been released? What's the funeral? Saturday?
When they're not crying or
Yeah, exactly.